Expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
On the basketball, right? Y'all think you're funny, huh? But the joke's on you, because you're the ones that can't perceive your reality. Understand they've been scheming for a long time, can't ban water, so they got up in your mind. Pretending like we don't know how to perceive, like the water in the Nile travels upstream. Somebody tell smokestacks, but the Coriolis still then it only affects water and bullets. What? They must think that we're pretty dumb, trying to prove Earth's spin full called pendulum. Geometry is just the math of the earth, and that's why they gotta tell y'all to square the circle. I feel the sun getting hotter on my face, no ways 93 million miles away. Nah. And try to say we can only see so far, you see farther than that and y'all move the bar. Come on. You want some proof? Look up Anthony and Nathan, and look up all you can see the Isle of Man.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we can see further than we're supposed to.
Maybe you should look into a little bit yourself. You might be surprised. We're pioneers of a new paradigm, maybe even the greatest minds of all time. Keeping them hoping to see past the hoaxes, exposing the lies from these predators poaching our pineal gland. Man, we need some space. Sick of NASA propaganda all over the place. Now we're living the life from the fringe. All because I know the earth I live in doesn't have a spin. Round two, baby.
That's right, the Flat Earth International Conference coming up in 18 days. This is a special edition with your hosts, Robbie Davidson and Pastor Nate Wolfe. How's it going, Pastor Nate?
Hey, it's going very well, Robbie. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing awesome. It's good to be back here, getting everything ready for the big conference. Just before we get into that, though, how's everything going with you?
Well, it's been a busy couple of weeks, but all good stuff for the most part. You know, of course, getting ready for FEIC 19. And this weekend, I'm actually down in Seymour, Indiana, doing an overnight with a meetup tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm actually hanging with my new friend, Andy Denny, who wrote the book, Crushing Conceptualism in Modern Christianity. We had him on the show just a few weeks ago. So he's right. My gracious host, and I'm going to go to worship with him tomorrow. And then even some of the folks from his fellowship are coming to the meetup. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're getting all ready then for tomorrow, and you're going to be speaking?
Yeah, I've got, about 3 or 4 20-minute plus sessions that I'll be doing about biblical cosmology. And Andy's going to be opening us up with some foundational things about truth to consider. And then I'll kind of take the reins there for a good chunk of the meetup. And then when the meetup is over, we'll probably go hang out, do the usual fellowship and just network with people. So looking forward to it. It was raining all day today as I drove down south, and tomorrow it's supposed to be kind of nice. So at least the nice weather will be during the meetup tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's great too. You'll be speaking, and then in 18 days, you're going to, 18 days, you're going to be speaking at the Flat Earth International Conference in Dallas, Texas. for the third annual USA event. It's going to be quite something. Really excited. A lot of stuff's coming together really nicely. We've been talking with Rick Hummer and John Gabrielson, my conference director, and putting on the final touches as far as the stage. And there's just so much. We were just getting the police situation all settled just on Friday, making sure that they're there. We definitely have a few people that might be causing some problems, but we get that every year. But again, like I said, when they see the police there,
comes with the territory.
It does. Yeah, I'm not too concerned. Actually, it's been pretty tame this year. Previous years, I think there were a lot more potential threats. But anyways, we always have good security. The police are on hand, and it should be a great event. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to just kind of go through some of the speakers. If you're not familiar, you can get the information at fe2019.com, or you can go to flatearthconference.com, where you can find all this information. So just going through speakers, I was actually just in dialogue with Rob Skiba yesterday, and we were talking about a bunch of stuff. He's going to be doing a two-part session, one on the first day, I believe just after lunch, and then he'll be opening first thing in the morning on the Friday. So that's awesome. We got Daryl Marble, we got Owen Benjamin. And speaking of Owen Benjamin, if you're not familiar, I was actually just talking with Owen the other night, and it was that night that he actually sent me a live stream. He said, "Dude, have you seen my new live stream?" And I said, "No," because I was dealing with stuff with my father and all that. So when I went to check it out, it was him literally finally coming out and saying, "I'm a flat earther." So the journey is complete with Owen Benjamin.
I saw one of the, I think it was a channel, Owen Benjamin Highlights or something, but I saw a big chunk of that. Man, he was just nailing the facts one right after the other.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this guy's legit, man.
Yeah, he was using actually, I believe, Taboo Conspiracies new video, Flat Earth Journey, I believe. And he was showing the clips through that. But it was a phenomenal video that Ben put together, which he will be there in Dallas live with the rest of the Globebusters. He's the newest addition to the Globebusters with Jaron, Bob, and Iru, which all four of them will be at the conference in Dallas. And if you're listening and you just can't get to Dallas, we are going to be doing the live stream of both stages, something new this year. You can sign up for the live stream at fe2019.com/livestream, or just go to the website and you'll find where you can sign up for the live stream. But we will be live streaming both stages, so you can flip back and forth if you want. Also, it will be available for you if you can't catch it live or you want to watch it over and over afterwards. We're putting together a really, really nice live stream, as we do each year, but this year we will be live streaming both stages, which is really exciting. But yeah, Owen Benjamin, like I said, he's on fire. Actually, he, I think it was a week and a half ago, he finally got around to watching my documentary, Scientism Exposed. Well, he loved it. You know, he absolutely loved it. He was going off talking to me about it. And actually, for people that are watching on YouTube, you can actually see my recent subscribers. You can kind of see Owen Benjamin right here, 268,000 subscribers. Owen Benjamin. So yeah, he's actually even signed up now with Celebrate Truth, and he's really excited. He's been kind of digging through all the different things on the channel. But yeah, he really, really enjoyed Scientism Exposed, which, you know, was a huge compliment coming, you know, from Owen just the first time checking it out. So I'm not sure if he's checked out the sequel yet, but watching the first one, he really enjoyed that. So, and of course we got David Weiss, as people will know him as DITRH, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. And David Weiss has just been killing it lately. I mean, he has been doing so many incredible interviews.
He's on fire too, man.
He really is. He really is. I don't know how he does it. He does so many things behind the scenes, but he was on Alex Jones' show. He was on the Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. He's going on a massive show. I think 500,000 subscribers. Their live streams get 8,000 live viewers a live stream, and he's going on that, I believe, November 2nd. He has not revealed the channel yet. Just stay tuned for that. It is coming up November 2nd, and I'm sure you'll be hearing about it on Facebook or YouTube. He will be doing that show, nobody is flat earthers on that show. So, and that's exactly what David Weiss loves.
Yeah, and you know this, of course, because you've known David longer than I have. But David is just a good dude. Yeah, I mean, he's very genuine. And I'll tell you what, this last week he sent me a gift for my ministry. I was just really appreciative of him. I mean, he said, and he sent me this gift, and he had a little note. It said, "Hired for Truth" on it. So I was
Nice.
like pumped up, man.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
if you're listening, David, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing even bigger things from him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And he just loves talking to the people that are not on the side of flat Earth. He loves talking to Globers or people that, believe
Yeah.
like we all believed at one point. So that's really where he really, specializes, and he loves to do those type of shows. But yeah, no, he's phenomenal. He's such an asset to the community. Just phenomenal. And I mean, he's been around actually from day one, and he came in kicking and screaming, which is funny because he wouldn't even listen to a 2-minute video or watch a 2-minute video on flat Earth at the beginning. He actually was getting annoyed
Nice.
because he was running, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole podcast, and people started sending him flat Earth stuff, I think in 2015, I believe, early 2015. Wow. And he's just like, get out of here. This is nuts. This is crazy. I won't, but I think it was someone that he respected, Sophia Smallstorm. I think she, said something to him one day, and he's like, really? Is there something to it? And she's like, well, he's like, really? So he started looking into it. But anyways,
Nice.
Really phenomenal, the stuff that he's doing. I mean, were you able to catch the Alex Jones show?
I watched part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was impressed with he wasn't hesitant at all. He seemed very comfortable and confident, and he was just knocking facts out of the park left and right. I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell that even, Alex Jones and these guys, like, they were impressed with how he was answering. I don't think they expected him to be so, just on point.
No, and that's the thing, and really it was Eddie Bravo that was there with Sam, and they were just kind of keeping Alex in check, because when Alex was kind of getting crazy, they'd be like, "Hey, let him speak, let him speak." Like, it really helped
he has
Dave.
those outbursts.
But here's the crazy thing: if people aren't familiar, because there's people in the YouTube chat room that are asking questions about Alex, and all I can say right now with what I've heard is Alex is seriously going down the rabbit hole. The next day after David did that broadcast, Eddie Bravo had sent a screenshot of a text Alex sent to Eddie saying, "Holy smokes, all the pictures of Earth from space are fake." So it was kind of blowing his mind. So he actually started kind of going down that rabbit hole. I'm not sure. I do know that
Nice.
I do know that there will be a couple producers on Alex's show that will be at the conference. They're not coming as media; they're coming personally, because they already are flat earthers.
Wow.
So Alex has got quite a few people, in his ear about flat Earth. People on his own team, his own producers, have been, talking to him. But as far as what I know, the latest update I got was Alex was tripping out. He was really starting to look into it. He was looking into the moon landings. He was looking into pictures from Earth. Earth from space, Antarctica was really wigging about. So since that interview, he's actually, and there is a chance, possibly, Dave's mentioned this a couple times on some podcasts and different interviews, that there is a chance that Alex Jones might be coming. But he will be coming with a lot of respectful people, and they're not coming as media. So they're not coming to kind of do this big media show. They're coming to actually take it in. So that will be really fascinating if Alex Jones comes, to take it all in. Dave said that he was going to talk to him.
If he's got producers that are flat earthers, I mean, yeah, that's very close, man.
Yeah, pretty high up. So that's really exciting. So 2019 has been just an incredible year, just with some really big names, moving into this territory. I mean, there was what was that sports guy, the tennis guy, or what was it, cricket? What was do you remember offhand? Anyways, I forget the guy's name, but he came out.
I can't remember his name, but
yeah, I'm sure someone in the chat will.
There's been so many sports, figures that have done that. Of course, most of them clam up pretty quick after that, but
yeah, well, he seemed
pressure.
Yeah, well, he seemed to kind of stick with it, and that was kind of insane. So then of course we've got Matt Long, the co-host on the Flat Earth podcast that David Weiss and Matt Long do. He'll be there as well. He's with Woketown. That's his YouTube channel, which is awesome. Matt actually has been part of FEIC from the very beginning. I met Matt at the same time I met Rob Skiba and Rick Hummer. We all met in Austin for a conference that John Gabrielson was putting on called Back to the Future. And that's actually where I met John Pounders as well for the first time. So
Oh, wow.
Matt was just kind of coming in. He was kind of curious, but really shortly after that, he just started venturing out, created a YouTube channel and getting really invested in the flat earth. But he came the first year to help volunteer. He helped with security and he was helping with registration. And then
Really?
since then, yeah, he's been phenomenal. Like he came to the Canada one. That's actually where he met Jessica, his now wife, which, by the way, they will probably have a new baby girl or boy in the next few days, possibly the next week.
Oh, wow.
So the due date is actually in 2 days. And I know that Jessica is definitely getting to the point where she's getting impatient.
That's pretty close timing to FEIC.
It really is, yeah. And she was asking today if she should try castor oil, and everyone was advising her, no, don't do it, just wait. Baby's going to come right away. So they're going to have new baby girl or boy here real soon in the next few days to a week, I would imagine. But it would be great to have Matt there again with Woketown and, doing everything there. Of course, we got Mark Sargent, which this year, Mark Sargent will be opening in Dallas. So he is actually the opener.
Cool.
Right after I give my opening speech and then introduce Rick, the Master of Ceremonies. And that's an awesome thing too. And we'll get to Rick here in a second. But it's so nice to have him being Masters of Ceremonies for every single FEIC. And this is the fourth, including Canada. Which is really phenomenal. Rick's done so much for the community, and he's just an awesome MC. Just love it. But yeah, Mark, if you're not aware and you're looking to come to the conference and you don't know this, Mark and FEIC will be giving an autographed copy of his new book, Flat Earth Clues, End of the World, to every single person at the conference. So we worked on an arrangement together that we will give an autographed copy to every single person that comes to the conference. Doesn't matter if you're a VIP or not, you're getting an autographed book of Mark. So I was just talking to Mark yesterday.
Sweet.
And he's going to be busy a couple days before the conference autographing books. So he's getting there and he's going to be up in his room autographing fiercely, that's for sure. So it's going to be pretty insane.
So if his hand cramps up on stage during his speech, then we'll have to just cut him some slack.
That's right. We're going to have to cut him some slack because he actually autographed 5. I think he's autographing like 500 or 600 books, something like that. So it's going to be pretty phenomenal. But it's so nice. Each year I try to do a surprise. The first year I gave a free copy of my DVD, Scientism Exposed 2, to everyone. And then the next year in the U.S., we were able to give everyone a free copy of Flat Earth Man. Conspiracy Gurus, his new album debuted, and we were able to give every single person, a copy of his album. And usually it's a surprise,
I
got
got a copy, and he autographed. He was just autographing all kinds of them. So I got mine autographed. I was excited.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And then this year, like I said, I guess it's not so much of a surprise as we're actually announcing it this year, because we kind of went back and forth, and Mark said, hey, let's just announce it, right? So everyone will get a autographed copy of Mark's new book, Flat Earth Clues, End of the World. And let me tell you, it is phenomenal. And if you don't want to take my word for it, talk to David Weiss. David Weiss went on to say it is the best book he's ever read in his life in Flat Earth. He was so enamored by it. He was blown away.
Awesome.
It is phenomenal. I mean, he chronicles.
Well, we got the sneak peek. Remember back in, was it June? I was in Wisconsin at my grandma's 90th, and I was in the Walmart parking lot using their Wi-Fi so I could do the show with you. And that was the night we interviewed Mark, and he gave us some pretty good sneak peeks from the book.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. So if you aren't familiar, and again, I believe that the audio book is out. You can find that. Also, I think it's on Amazon. I think that's what David Weiss did. He just listened to the audio book, but it went a lot quicker that way. But it was pretty phenomenal. That's for sure. So we got Jaron Campanella, which I talked to him a couple of days ago, going over everything. Cool. Actually, Jaron is actually planning on doing his own little documentary of the event. So he's planning to put together an entire documentary around FEIC 2019 in Dallas. So he's going to be interviewing people. He's going to be doing a lot of different things. So it's going to be really exciting. Really excited to see what Jaron does with all the footage that he's going to be doing. But he's going to be capturing some sessions. He's going to be getting interviews. He's going to be taking it all in. But he wanted to put together kind of a mini documentary based on the event in Dallas. So that's going to be really
Very
cool.
Nice.
Bob Nodell, of course. Bob, of course, is going to be there. He's been there at every FEIC since the very beginning, in Raleigh, in Canada, in Edmonton, in Denver, and then now in Dallas, which is awesome. And again, there's such staples in the community very early on, forming Globebusters. It's really, really good. and Bob's awesome. His wife, Cammie, will be there as well. We'll get into her in just a second there as far as what she will be presenting. Nathan Thompson will be doing Flat Earth 101. So look forward to that.
Cool.
That will be on the first day as well. We got Shelley Lewis. She's the co-director, The Plain Truth documentary as well. She's going to be doing a main stage session on activism and a lot of things to do with Flat Earth, which is awesome. And then we got Zen Garcia. He's going to be talking a lot about the case that was done. He's involved in a case if people are not familiar, and he's been doing extraordinary work in winning for Flat Earth. Judge ruled that there was no evidence for the globe in this contest that he ran. He's going to be talking a lot about that in his session called Winning for Flat Earth, which is awesome. We got Jared Cressman, which he's a new addition to FEIC for Dallas, which if you're not familiar with Jared Cressman and you haven't heard him speak, get ready. He's going to be talking about the spiritual war between good and evil, which is going to be really, really profound, really incredible. And of course,
I'm looking forward to that.
We got the amazing Nate Wolfe doing the first main stage presentation at FEIC, Fired for Truth. And maybe you can kind of talk a little bit about what you're going to be, talking about. I've mentioned before to people, and I actually did a post on Facebook today, that the theme of this year's conference is finding the creator through creation. And I know that will touch on a lot. And I think in this journey that we're all on, it's really important that we keep in mind that the creator is a lot more important than the creation itself. It's really cool, and it's a noble pursuit to figure out, this creation. But if we miss out on the creator that made this creation, we're going to miss out on it all. So I really wanted this year's conference to have that theme. And maybe you could kind of go in a little bit of detail, or maybe a couple teasers on what you're going to be presenting at the 2019 Flat Earth International Conference.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I was so privileged to be at the Flat Earth International 18 in Denver, and that was my first FEIC, and I was just tickled to death that I could even be on the Bible panel, and so this year, this is my first main stage, speaking opportunity at FEIC, so I'm very pumped up about that, especially in a venue like Dallas, and I'm going to be sharing specifically some items I think are very important from Genesis chapter 1. I know I keep coming back to, hey, Genesis 1 is the foundation, but it is. And I have just continued to study from Genesis chapter 1, revisit it all through this year. And I'm going to be sharing some what I believe are key points about the foundations of creation. Specifically in Genesis 1 is where I'm going to spend most of my time there. And then, as you said, because the theme that you selected is so important, I decided that I will finish my talk speaking about the Creator and making some ties with the physical creation of the cosmos, and tie that in also with this very special creation, which is us, which is man and woman made in the image of God. So I'm really excited. I don't want to say too much about that because I had one of those, I know you've had some epiphanies lately. I had an epiphany. It doesn't happen a lot. So when it happens, I'm pretty excited. But I was actually driving back a couple Sundays ago from a big fellowship over in Cleveland with the Baileys and the Solomons and a bunch of other people. It was for one of the last days of the Feast of Sukkot, or Tabernacles, and I was driving back, and I just had this connection in my mind, and there's some powerful understanding in the Hebrew, in the original language, that connects some things of the creation of the cosmos with the creation of mankind. And so I can't say much more than that because I'll spill the beans, but a couple of scriptures popped in my mind. You know how that works, where all of a sudden you connect the dots and you're just blown away. You're like, whoa, dude. You're just like, wow, look what God just did there. So I'm very excited about that. That is what I'm going to close with, and I'm going to issue a challenge, not in a nasty way, a rude way, an aggressive way, but just a straight up challenge to every listener to say, especially if you're not a believer, or if you're maybe not sure, maybe you're kind of just not really sure what you believe about God and the Bible, and and all these things. I wanted to challenge people that if you would put in a similar amount of effort into seeking the Creator as you have in the creation and trying to understand the true creation, I believe that you'll be blessed. And I believe that, as the scripture says in Jeremiah, he says that you will seek me and you will find me when you seek for me or search for me with all of your heart.
Amen.
So I know some people have sought, answers out and didn't feel like they really, got the answers. But my question is going to be, have you really sought him with your full energy, with your full focus and heart?
Yeah.
And I believe that if people will do that, the scripture says that you will find me. I mean, that's what the Creator says. So I'm very excited. I feel privileged. And I tell you, Robbie, I appreciate where you put me in the lineup, because I have the best slot in the lineup as far as biblical creationist believers go.
Yeah.
Because, I get to go before most of these other guys that are Christians, are believers. So I'm excited, man. I get the first crack Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday mid-morning when everybody's still pretty fresh. So, man, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's just pull it up here real quick for people that are actually watching on YouTube on Celebrate Truth.
Yeah.
You kind of see here, we got the kickoff here at 8:30 to 8:45. We got Mark Sargent. We got the coffee break. And then we go into Flat Earth 101, which is with Nathan Thompson. At the same time, the workshop is the History of the Globe Deception with Chris Bailey and Michael Solomon, which we'll get into here in a bit. And then, boom, right there, Biblical Cosmology with Nate Wolfe. There we go at 11 o'clock on the first day. It's going to be great. So I'm really excited. You're really the first biblical.
Strategy, Robbie.
All right.
Yeah, here's my strategy. So since my talk will be done mid-morning Thursday, I can stay up super late Thursday night, with you and everybody. And I'm hoping, hoping that I showed my true mettle, at Take on the World.
You did.
Stay up
you did. I'm proud.
Up till 2:30 in the morning.
I'm
and then
proud.
The second night I stayed up till 3:35 a.m.
I know. I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, I was just like, what is going on? It's like you have more than proved yourself. You are a night owl king.
Well, I mean, you've trained me well. So here's the thing. I'll be able to, put all my energy into my opportunity to share on the main stage. And then, of course, I'll probably be part of the Flat Earth panel.
Yes.
But I'll be able to kind of just, relax and enjoy the time and stay up late and just enjoy that fellowship. And I can be nice and tired if I need to be, for my flight home Saturday. So.
Yeah, it should be good. We'll definitely be able to pace ourselves a little bit more, at FEIC, but it should be a great time, that's for sure. So, and you will have your book Fired for Truth there at the conference, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, and I have to give a shout out to Rob Skiba and just say, hey, thank you, bro, because I asked Rob at Take on the World. I said, hey, man, this conference is right in your backyard. I said, would you let me ship some books to your Kingsgate Media? And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, ship some books. I'll bring them to the conference for you.
Cool.
So I was like, that's cool. I don't have to worry about my books. And I just talked to Rob this last week. He said, hey, he says, I got a box of books in from lulu.com.
Nice.
I said, yep, those are my books. So
yeah.
Also, Robbie, check this out.
Sure.
My friend Andrew Michael Denny, I'm at his house, tonight, and then tomorrow we're doing the meetup. Mm-hmm. He is going to also send a box of his books with me, and I'm hoping to have some of his books as well at my table.
Awesome.
And he's already autographed those, so hopefully I'll have 2 different books, but I will have Fired for Truth, my testimony, and I am really thankful for the feedback that I'm getting from people. I guess it was a really good move on my part to include so much of my history all the way back to when I was born and, growing up in Alaska and spiritual influences that shaped me and, my marriage and our children and college and all of that. Mm-hmm. So it's really helped people to get a vision for, who is this Nate Wolfe that just kind of showed up, in 2018 and
sure.
I thought it was important for people to see a snapshot of my whole life and what I've been about.
No, I think it's great, and it's a fantastic book. Just how you chronicle everything leading up right to present. I think it's great. So yeah, look forward to that at the conference. And for anyone that is tuning in, and you're just not able to make it out to Dallas, there really isn't any excuse. But if there is an excuse and you can't make it, check out the live stream. You can sign up for the live stream at fe2019.com or flatearthconference.com. Sign up for the live stream. We will be streaming both stages this year. It's a phenomenal deal, $40 for both days. That includes Owen Benjamin's stand-up, all the evening entertainment, the Flat Earth Video Awards, and so much more. So check that out. And you can learn more information at the website. So let's continue on with all these different speakers, because again, it keeps going and going. I think in total there's 27 speakers. 27 speakers. Nice. So it's pretty phenomenal. So we got Paul on the Plane next. And I want to give a huge thank you as well to Paul on the Plane. He's actually a premium sponsor this year of FEIC, and also the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Zodiac Clock, David Weiss's app. He's also a premium sponsor. So I wanted to thank my sponsors for the event, because they really, really help make a lot of things possible. Some surprises that are coming that I can't talk about, but I think people are going to be really excited when they see what they're getting at this year's FEIC. But Paul on the Plane has done phenomenal work. He's, he runs 2 podcasts. He does phenomenal work on his channel, Paul on the Plane, and he's on TFR, Truth Frequency Radio. He does a show now, the Globe Lie, with Roxanne Glenn. They do a show as well, which is really awesome. But Paul's amazing guy, great asset to the community, does so much behind the scenes, helps out, supports. These are just really good core people that are represented at FEIC. I try my best to have assembled the best type of people. It's not always about even who's doing the best work. It's like, are they good people? Are they team players? That's so important when there's so much division, there's so much infighting and all the stuff that goes on, in not just Flat Earth, any community in general, you have that happening. But I wanted to make sure that I protected as much as I could FEIC, bringing together just the best. And even though we don't always agree on everything, we all agree that we're not on a spinning ball flying through space, and we want to work together, helping to break down the lies of the world, which is really great. So on to Rick Hummer. Again, Rick, there's so much to say about Rick. He's become such a close friend. He's an awesome brother. He is, been the master of ceremonies at FEIC since day one. I couldn't think of having anyone else but Rick. He just does so much. Actually, my wife and his wife have become very, very close, so they're excited to hang out. They will both be there at FEIC, so it's going to be great to have Rick Hummer there again. And he's got some fun stuff planned. As you know, many people listening in know that he's working on a movie right now. There is going to be, on the first day before Owen Benjamin, there is a game show recording that's going to be taking place, and that is going to be featured in the movie. So there is going to be audience participation. So anyone that is part of that will be part of the movie. So it's going to be really fun. Jaron's involved with that. David Weiss, Mark Sargent, I think, is the host of the game show. But there's going to be an entire Flat Earth game show with buzzers and the whole thing, and it's going to be part of the movie. But everyone that's part of the studio audience that night will be part of the movie, which is really exciting. So that taping will take place right before Owen Benjamin comes on stage, which is going to be phenomenal. If you follow Owen Benjamin, I think, we're going to laugh, but also I think he's going to really make us think, because he has a tendency to really, really make you think, even within his comedy. So it's going to be phenomenal. Cami Noedel, Bob's wife, is going to be doing a workshop with Zach Zabella, and both of them together, they're actually creating a new YouTube channel called How the World Works. They've come up with some incredibly fascinating, mind-blowing models. They've been able to model, like, even the firmament. They've been able to model a lot of different things that a lot of people have been scratching their heads with for a long time. They have been busy working for months. When Rob Skiba and I met up with them in Denver, probably like 3-4 months ago, we sat down, and it was blowing Rob Skiba's mind, the stuff that they were coming up with. And they're going to be debuting that at the conference, which is going to be really phenomenal. I believe they're going to actually have some working models that people can kind of participate with as well in the lobby, which is going to be really neat to kind of play around with that. They've got vibrations and frequencies and stuff, like with sound. And I find it fascinating because, God created the world through speaking it into existence. Sound is what created it, So there is something behind sound, and I think a lot of people have found it incredibly fascinating. Just the fact that, God didn't create it with his hands. He spoke everything into existence. Sound is what created it, the sound coming from God. So they've kind of touched in on a lot of that stuff, which is really cool. So Nathan Reynolds, on to Nathan Reynolds here from Snatched from the Flames. He will be closing FEIC this year. And this is the first year that I've ever had a closer. We've always just done a conference, but I mean, you've been able to see him, Nate, and maybe you can kind of touch on him as a closer.
He's an awesome closer, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be quite something. I was talking with Nathan just a few nights ago, and he's been really, keeping it in prayer, and he will be talking about standing for the truth, and he really will be encouraging. I think it's going to be it's going to be an encouraging message, but also I think it's going to be empowering to a lot of people. And he will basically tie everything in, from Mark Sargent to your session to Jaron he will tie everything in and close it in the end, which again, I'm really excited for, because I've never had a closer at the Flat Earth International Conference, and Nathan Reynolds, I think, is going to close it where, it's definitely going to be one to remember in history, that's for sure. So Iru Landucci, as we mentioned before, with Globebusters. Iru, huge thanks to Iru. He works on so many of the computer modeling, 3D rendering, a lot of the graphics that happen at Flat Earth International Conference, from the intros to the countdown clocks. Iru works on tirelessly. So we've been going back and forth, and he's been doing a lot of work, with FEIC, which is awesome. And it's going to be great to see Iru.
Yeah, he's very talented dude.
He is. He really is. Incredibly talented. If you want something modeled 3D, I mean, he's the guy to go to. We got Noel J. Hadley, which really excited to have Noel for the first year speaking at FEIC, and he's going to be touching on his brand new book that is debuting at the conference, called The Unexpected Cosmology. We had him on the show just a couple of weeks ago going through that, and it features the stories. It's pretty much chronicling the entire revival of the 21st century flat earthers, right? And it goes into like everything from Mark Sargent to David Weiss to Rob Skiba to Rick Hummer to Karen B to Bob Nodell. I mean, you name it. There's just this entire chronicling, and this is only book one. I don't know if there's going to be 2 or 3 books, but the first book is 400 pages, and it ends off at right before the very first conference that I put on in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's literally me. I won't spoil it, but again, it's chronicles right to there. So then I believe that he's going to come out with book 2 in the spring of 2020. But let me tell you, if you're not familiar with Noel J. Hadley and his writing, he did the piece on Patricia Steer, and she'll also be in the book. And just the way he writes, I mean, it's hard to put into words the way Noel writes, but he has quite the gift when it comes to his writing ability.
He's very talented, very talented.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. In fact, I think the timing of, what he's going to be speaking on with the release of the book is perfect. And I know it's it's going to be at least a 2-book series, maybe 3. But for sure, he's already planned out, like you said, in the spring of 2020 for book 2. So we'll see if that wraps things up or if he's got more to say. But I know he's so detailed and he does such a good job in his research. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up having a trilogy. So
absolutely, and that's the thing. And again, he chronicles, Bob Nodell from Globebusters and so many more. I was actually talking to Jaron a couple nights ago, and I mentioned to him, because he was a little gun shy after the whole Behind the Curve and interviews, and I said to him, I said, I think that you need to read book 1 of Noel J. Hadley's, because I know that Noel's really interested in still interviewing you, right? But I think once Jaron reads book 1, I think that Jaron will open up to being interviewed by Noel, because Noel's not out to do any hack job or make anyone look stupid. He's there to actually chronicle, incredible work going on in the Flat Earth movement in the community. So hopefully Jaron will agree.
You see, that's the thing, is he's looking at doing legitimate journalism and sharing facts. Then that's so refreshing. Because that's the way it should be, but of course, as you know, so much of the modern stuff is just it's bogus stuff, and they're just trying to paint us in a crazy light or whatever. So it'll be quality, and it'll be very, very thorough. And honestly, Robbie, I don't know where he gets the time to write all this material.
I know, it's
because
insane.
He's been traveling around. He's finally back in the U.S. and I think he got in last week, and he messaged me on Skype, and I said, I said, "Hey, dude, are you back?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "We just got in a day or so ago," and he's
Yeah.
like, "We literally crashed. We got in the house and crashed in our clothes on the bed for like 3 hours." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, man." It took them 3 days to get
Yeah.
back to their home. So
Yeah, no, he's super busy. Just wanted to say a quick shout out to Roderick. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. In the
awesome.
YouTube live chat happened right now. Just really appreciate it. So I just wanted to point that out. So let's get into the rest because we're not done yet. We're on to Jason Lindgren, and that is the I guess you would say the other counterpart of Crow 777. And Crow
Okay,
Triple
cool.
Seven have done phenomenal stuff. They just came out with a documentary called The Moon Movie, Moonshot, I believe it's called.
Nice.
And he's going to be doing a really amazing workshop there as well. So we talked about Cami and Zach that are going to be doing How the World Works, which is going to be great. And Zach, he's done some phenomenal stuff on his channel. If you're not subscribed, check him out. His YouTube channel is Good Times for All, just right there. And then we got, Ben from Taboo Conspiracy, which he's really, truly been knocking it out of the park. I mean, he did Antarctica is Closed, I think about a year ago, which was a phenomenal documentary on just all the suspicious nature of Antarctica. But lately, he's come out with two solid videos. One was The Flat Earth Journey, which Owen Benjamin was the one that chronicled the whole thing with his live stream when he came out as a flat earther. He basically systematically went through Taboo Conspiracy's entire video. But this will be the first year for Ben to be part of FEIC. And quite honestly, it's exciting that he's the newest member to Globebusters. And all four of them will be there in Dallas in 18 days. I still can't believe it.
Very cool.
It's coming around
Yeah,
so fast.
he's been on fire, man, and he also seems to be just a really great guy from just from the interactions that I've had with him in some of the chats, live streams, and just watching his stuff, listening to his videos. I mean, he seems like a really conscientious, genuine type of person. So
You
if
might
we
you
can
might
add,
you might be
add
getting to
more.
know him a lot better at FEIC. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
So
uh-oh.
we'll see. So anyways, we're getting on to Dave
You're gonna
Marsh.
break him in. You're gonna break him in with Nate. Okay,
Well,
cool.
I'm just saying. I told you before, right? I said I was still
Yeah,
I was sorting things out, but yeah, you might be getting to know Ben a lot better at
awesome.
FEIC. So we'll see how that goes. Dave
Cool.
Marsh is going to be there doing a workshop, obviously on the moon. He's done significant work on the moon. He's kind of
Yes,
like the moon expert. If you want any information on the
the
moon,
Moon Man.
you have any questions, he's the moon man, Dave Marsh, all the way from the
Yeah, dude.
UK.
His photos are amazing, and he does very meticulous work. But he's also just a very down to earth dude, and looking forward to seeing him again in person.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he's absolutely incredible with all of the research and just the countless hours. And Dave's actually speaking at more and more conferences all over. I mean, he was with me
Cool.
at the New Zealand Flat Earth Expo there, and
That's right.
he was at UK Amsterdam. I saw him last year at the UK convention. But yeah, he's done phenomenal stuff. And then last but not least, we've got Chris Bailey and Michael Solomon doing a
Yes.
workshop, the very first workshop on the very first day. So no pressure, guys. But they're gonna hit it out of the park. They've been working on it, and they're going to be getting into the globe deception. It's going to be a
Very
phenomenal
cool.
workshop. And if you're not familiar, Chris Bailey is the one him and his wife do Take on the World conference.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I'm excited that you roped them in.
Yeah,
Because I think they need to experience FEIC, and FEIC needs to experience them.
I think so. Yeah,
For those that haven't followed in the Take on the World, circles,
sure.
and Take on the World TV on YouTube is actually blown up quite a bit. I
Yes,
mean, just before the conference, they had less than 1,000 subs, and they were pushing for 1,000 so they could do the mobile live streaming and all that.
correct.
And they're already at like 1,500 almost. I mean,
Nice,
I was looking at it a couple days ago, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And
nice.
they bring a lot of people, as you know, from different channels, different weekly shows. Like Disputed Lands with Chad Schaefer and others
Phenomenal.
that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
come on that show. So it's really awesome to see Chris and Michael at FEIC. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I couldn't. I mean, I kept bugging Chris, and I just wouldn't have let him say no. I mean, I told him, I said, dude, I'll come out there and I'll rope you myself. I'll drag you to the conference. Like, you're coming, right? I just
Nice.
tried and tried and tried. And it was kind of fun because, I've got close to Chris, obviously being at Take on the World
Yeah.
conference the last 2 years. But Chris is a great guy. Chris and Liz, they do so much behind the scenes, and they do incredible conferences for sure.
Yes.
And I know,
Absolutely.
being a fellow conference organizer, we can definitely talk shop as far as how much work goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, he's such a great asset, not just with Flat Earth, but just in Christian circles, and just what he does.
Hmm.
Bringing everyone together. And Chris has had that heart, kind of like me, where I want to bring that unity. You know what I mean? He wants
Yeah.
to see that unity in the body. And I want to see that unity when it's kind of going forward. Right? We're not compromising. We're not trying to be something we're not. But
Yeah.
again, it's a lot better than infighting and calling people names all the day. And so
Exactly.
it's just
Yeah.
unbelievable. But yeah, Chris got a great heart. Love what he's doing with Take on the World and all his other ministries. And Chris is a phenomenal speaker. I mean, and Chris has a great
is.
way. I will say one thing. Wherever you stand on the whole Torah observant or whatever, Chris is some person you need to talk to before you make any judgments. Because Chris will probably surprise you when he articulates it and explains it in a way, and you're like, oh, I thought it was this. I thought it was that. He's like, no, it's this.
Exactly.
Like, he just has a great way of really explaining what it really means and why it's all about the
Yeah.
Messiah. It's all about Jesus. It's all about Yeshua. It's not about just keeping the law for the sake of it for salvation, But I just think Chris
Exactly.
has got a real ability when it comes to that. He's helped me out tremendously, just asking him questions and going, oh, okay. And I've always told people that before you judge any community, come out. And that's the same thing with like Take on the World or FEIC. Before you judge anyone, come out, spend time with them, meet them. I would say that the conferences is not so much about the speakers or the sessions. It's about the community. It's about getting together, making lifelong friendships. That's
Yes.
the beautiful thing about these conferences. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one thing too, I want to jump in on the Chris bandwagon here. That guy is a very good speaker. He will tell you he's not, and he's a liar because I
He's a
heard him
liar.
speak.
Chris Bailey,
And
you're a liar. That's what
Chris
we're going to say.
Bailey, you're a liar, and I love you to death.
Yep.
And here's the thing: I went to a little Feast of Trumpets celebration down in his area several weeks ago, and he was like, "So Nate," he's like, do you have some things you want to share? Do you want to speak? I'm like, "Look, dude, I'm like brand new into all this stuff. Like, I just want to experience it." I said, "You can do this." I said, "And you will do an awesome job of explaining, the spiritual significance behind the feast and the connections to Jesus, to the Messiah." And he did a phenomenal job. I was blown away. And so, yeah, he undersells his ability, but that's because he's humble. And Michael is great as well. He has just such an amazing, physical presence, and his voice,
Yeah.
is just powerful. So those guys are going to be a 1-2 punch, and they're giving their presentation right before I do my main stage presentation. So they said, "Hey, we'll have to hustle on over, to the main stage after our, workshop so we can hear you speak." And I said, "Well, I'll be in your workshop listening to what you have to say, so I'll have to hustle over too."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, regarding the conferences, I mean, obviously the speakers are wonderful, the content is amazing, the atmosphere overall is powerful. But I've told you this before. I mean, everything was great for me at Denver, but the most important thing was, like you said, it's the fellowship, it's being around real people, it's seeing, a room with 500-600 plus people, and you're like, wow, all these people believe the same as me. And when you start breaking down, the cross section of people, you have people from all different walks of life and experience, but there are a lot of educated, intelligent, normal people in there, and it's like, it's refreshing to see, so many people all on the same page. And like you said, it's very unified, even though there are some differences, and there's even some non-believers there. You know what? I got along great with everybody last year. I'm anticipating getting along great with everyone this year. And I think Dallas is just going to be an amazing venue. And I know there's going to be people from all over, of course, but we know Texas will represent. I mean, I got a lot of Texas friends that'll be there. So
Very
it's
cool.
very, very exciting.
Yeah, and like they said, the schedule is just jam packed. Like I said, the first day, doors open at 8 a.m. We do have early registration the day before. So if you are listening and you're wondering about what's happening on the 13th, we do have early registration. There's going to be a bunch of activism going on over at the mall adjacent to the venue. I think people are going to be meeting in the afternoon, early afternoon, and then going over there kind of in droves. So that is happening. There'll be early registration starting at 3, I believe, till about 9. And for VIPs and speakers, there is the VIP speaker reception that's taking place at around 7 o'clock that evening. That's on the 13th, the Wednesday. Cool. And if you do get there on the Thursday, which is the 14th, registration opens at 7 a.m. and the doors will open at 8. It will kick off at 8:30 a.m. Myself and Rick, I will come out, do my opening speech, hand it over to Rick Hummer, the Master of Ceremonies, and then we've got Mark Sargent. And then we've got Nathan Thompson as well. We got the History of the Globe Deception with Chris and Michael doing their workshop. We've got Pastor Nate Wolfe, main stage, Biblical Cosmology at 11 a.m. At the same time, we got a workshop going on, How the World Works with Cami Nodell and Zach Zabola. We got our lunch. Right after lunch, we got Testing the Globe Part 1, Rob Skiba. Get ready for that. He's been working quite a while on his presentation. It will be a 2-part.
Nice.
We got Daryl Marble, Flat Earth According to D. Marble at 2:30. Cool. And actually, for the first time, Iru will be doing a Spanish-speaking workshop. So,
really?
Yeah, all Spanish. So you can actually...
Muy bien. All right.
That's right, all Spanish. So you have to do your... brush up on your Spanish, but it will be kind of nice because this is the first year we're actually doing an all Spanish workshop. So
sweet.
Yeah, so that will be exciting. It was actually Iru that suggested it, and I said, yeah, it's a great idea. Let's do it. Very cool. So then we got like a little break. We got Matt Long with Why Flat Earth. We got a workshop there. We got Globe Busters, basically concluding the day. We got Bob, Jaron, Iru, and Ben. They'll all be on stage for that. And then we got dinner break. And then right after that, we've got the Flat Earth game show, like I said before, where that will be the live taping for the movie. So they will be looking for audience participation. And I would imagine that room is going to be packed. Why? Because right afterwards, Owen Benjamin comes out for 2 hours for his entire comedy show, which I think, to tell you the truth, I think it's going to be like 70% comedy and 30% some serious business going on. You know, the way Owen gets serious. I know.
You know, Robbie, this will only be the second time that I've seen a live comedy routine. We got to see, Jennifer and I got to see Jim Gaffigan in Toledo 2 years ago, and that was a really great experience. But man, I'm excited to listen to Owen. And to have a 2-hour show is amazing. And I'm sure, like you said, he's going to be dropping some flat Earth bombs in there as well. So
some other bombs too. It definitely will not be PG. Yeah. And I mean, it's funny too, because when I'm talking to a lot of people, no one cares, you know, like it's one thing being vulgar. It's another thing by using language like that. But Owen has a way of just having that respect, even though he does have, you know, some colorful language. Owen is incredibly smart. And he's very, very strong in his faith. It's really intriguing, and I think a lot of people are going to find a lot of value in it. I'm excited to meet him, and I'm just excited that I'll actually be able to run into someone taller than me for the first time in over 4 years. It's never happened.
Well, that's amazing, and he's I would imagine he's a pretty imposing figure too, because he's a big dude over. So
he is,
you know, but that's going to be cool. You know, anybody taking selfies in between you two guys, they're all going to feel like, you know, the Lollipop Guild from we're gonna
get
Wizard
Bob
of Oz.
Yeah, we're gonna get Bob, Nodell, Jaron Campanella, Owen Benjamin, and myself, and then right in front of us we're gonna have Tony Stover and Hori Sheet.
There you go. You'll have the ankle biters section. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, and speaking of, we'll talk about that in hour 2, but wait till we get to the entertainment, because Amber Plaster is going to be performing. Amber Plaster's husband, Tony Stover, was going to be performing as well too. So I don't know if we got enough time to go into day 2. We're at 54, so I think we're coming up to the break.
2-3 minutes.
Well, we can rock through this pretty quick. So, anyways, day 2, we've got the kickoff at 8:30 to 8:45. We got basically part 2 of Rob Skiba, first thing in the morning. And then we're into Paul on the Plane, Space is Fake. And also Zen Garcia will be doing a workshop, Winning for Flat Earth. After that, it will be Jaron Campanella, main stage, NASA Going Nowhere since 1958. At the same time, the workshop will be done by Noel J. Hadley, The Unexpected Cosmology, based on his new book that he will be debuting at the conference. We got lunch. Right after lunch, we go into Jared Cressman, The War Between Good and Evil. And let me tell you, it's going to be riveting. At the same time, we got Jason Lindgren doing the social engineering of our worldview, space, and space travel. Right after that, main stage, we got Shelley Lewis, Flat Earth Arising, A Call to Action. She'll be talking about activism. As well, Dave Marsh will be doing a workshop, Testing the Moon, A Globe Lie Perspective. We got a short break, and then we're into the scientific breakdown with Bob Nodell. As well, we got a workshop with Flat Earth Perspectives with David Weiss, Matt Long. Concluding the event, we got Nathan Reynolds, Standing for the Truth. After that, we got the VIP speakers dinner. And we go into the Flat Earth Q&A mega panel, and then the Flat Earth Video Awards, which we'll talk more about in hour 2. And we'll explain kind of how that's going. The winners have already been picked. The awards are being designed. Chris Pontius is working tirelessly, making some really cool awards this year. They were awesome last year. They're going to be even better this year, which is really exciting. So, again, if you're not signed up yet, sign up for the live stream. Check it out. We'll be back here right after these messages. You're listening to Celebrate Truth with Robbie Davidson and Pastor Nate Wolfe. Talk to you soon. Go to Revolution Radio. That's where you want to go.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. And we'll be right back after this message.